What'd you eat?
Hey guys. So I've got my computer here so we can see comments and stuff.
It's
in case
weird
you
how
want to
it
know.
works. You have to like do this here, but you can't
It's
do
just
both.
too hard
So
to look at the comments on the phone, so it's much easier on the computer to be able to scroll back and forth. Let's see. We've got Max like right in front of us in the pack and play. So hopefully
and he's eating sticks
he'll
and
behave.
leaves.
We had our pre-dinner salads, but we haven't had dinner. Max had an avocado and a super fat bomb smoothie that I made him with wild blueberries in it and avocado and hemp seeds. But we've got dinner to eat after this.
I'm starving.
Anyways, it's been a while since
Super
we've done
starving.
a YouTube live Q&A.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this closer.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just because we can. Right up to the edge here.
Yep. Cool.
How's that?
Oh, that's so much better.
Might be a little crooked.
Let's see.
Is anybody here yet?
Okay, so start firing away the questions. Let's see. Eat, move, rest your best. I love that. Let's see. Joshua 1:8 says plant-based babies always smile more.
That's funny. Max is a smiler.
He is
for sure.
So smiley. So am I. We all are. Felicia from Ohio. Never been to Ohio, but hello, Felicia. Brittany from Maryland. Never been there either.
Gross. You can see this massive scar on my leg.
Ouch. What was that from?
I was climbing out of the trailer years ago.
Brandy says, just 6 weeks into going fully plant-based. Loving every minute. That's super awesome. Melissa, who I actually just talked with a couple days ago on a coaching call. Thanks for tuning in. Never felt better. She said, Erin, your coaching call really did help. So that's super exciting. I'm so glad to hear that. Let's see. Brittany asked, wondering how long after you went vegan you did blood work for intolerances. Like for allergies? I had it done once, but it was probably like 3 or 4 years after going vegan. When did you?
Yeah, not very long ago, maybe a year or two ago. So it was a while after going vegan, but food allergies are, from what I've heard, are pretty rare, and if you have them, like you have them.
Yeah.
So that's just what I've been told and have heard. And
let's see, Growing Up Gant asked, I've been dying for your opinion. What formula would you choose for Max if you couldn't breastfeed? So that's kind of a tricky question because there's not a whole lot of options as far as like staying plant-based with it. Most of them are like, you know, dairy-based or animal product-based. But I'm not even that well versed on the topic because I haven't had to look into it very much, but I would look into obviously a soy formula, I think is what you're going to have to go with. Just look for the cleanest that you can find. I'll have to do more research on that though because I'm kind of curious. That's a really good question. We've got Bucky from Houston, Texas. I've been there. My cousins used to live in Houston. Marnie from California. That's awesome. One of the dreamiest places we wish we could live.
Totally.
Let's see.
Well, should we just, since there's people here, should we...
Abby just tuned in. Hey, Abby. Abby came on our last 2 Costa Rica retreats.
She's been with us both times.
Heck yes.
Abby.
Pressure's on. Got to get that 3rd round.
I love Abby. Abby, you remind me of the girls on my dad's side. Just like so funny and so fun and so loud and so just always laughing. That was my alarm for the live, and I must have hit snooze 10 minutes ago. But yeah, Abby's great. If you guys want to make friends with us in person, come to Costa Rica or Bali. We're not sure our Bali retreat is even going to happen, though. We're a little bit worried about it. It already got moved once due to COVID, and yeah, I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
Costa Rica's a go.
I definitely feel confident that Costa Rica will happen. It's a very like secluded place and very safe, and it's far enough out that I think it'll be fine. Let's see. We've got
My hands look so big. And
sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out where we're at here. What amount of vitamin D would you recommend for an adult, 10-year-old, and 5-year-old? For an adult, the standard is 2,000 IUs, and you probably don't have to go much higher than that, especially in the summertime, but in the winter, I will say I tend to maybe double up, and also since I'm breastfeeding, like triple the amount, so I've been taking 6,000 IUs, and as far as 10-year-old and 5-year-old, I am not totally sure.
we don't have a 5 and a 10-year-old, so we're not really, don't really know that stuff.
Not quite yet.
Probably why you don't know, I guess, anyway.
Yeah.
But we could definitely try to find out. You look into plant-based juniors for everything, it seems like,
Yeah,
right?
they've got like actually a free ebook that tells you how much of each supplement or how much of each vitamin or mineral they should be getting from their diet. So it's a really good ebook.
So go to plantbasedjuniors.org.
.com, I think.
Calm.
Best practices for breakfast when pregnant. I would just say if you have morning sickness, honestly, the best thing that I was able to do was continue doing my green smoothie recipe, because I couldn't stomach the thought of just like a green salad or any of that anymore. Like vegetables were gross. So I just stuck with my green smoothies, and that really helped me.
Stomach it literally.
Yeah.
Not just the thought.
Yeah, so I mean, just whatever is going to be the most nourishing and fueling for you and your baby. So many people are having vegan babies. Are you guys getting any haters about it?
Some, not as much anymore.
A very, very small amount, but most of the comments are just probably, I would say they're more so rude than they are constructive criticism. Nobody really has anything to say that is like, oh, you should be careful for this reason. Here's a research article spelling out why. It's more of just, people saying really rude things, but it's very, very minimal. I would say it's like 99% positive.
Yeah. Because it's our child, I think about it sometimes, and I wonder, Erin and I ate meat and eggs until we were in our 20s, and we don't really know a lot of adults that were raised vegan, and so it can be a little bit scary, and we just want to make sure that we're doing it right. So yeah, I don't know. It's tricky, and it can be scary, because the last thing you want to do is, hurt your child in some way. But
yeah,
I think that the doctors and the scientists that are behind websites like Plant-Based Juniors and the number of conferences and things that we've gone to, like, they're looking out for us, and I think we can trust it.
Yeah, it's all about, it has to be a well-planned vegan diet. It can't just be, okay, this product doesn't have animals in it, so it's fair game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of processed junk, and it can be really easy to get stuck eating just a couple of things. You have to eat a really whole foods plant-based diet and well-rounded, so lots of variety.
Yeah, and a lot. I feel like for me, I have to eat more, and I get messages from guys a lot recently who are like, hey man, I saw your video, or I saw what I eat in a day, and I saw your workout, and I want to know how you're eating that many calories. And so when you think about a child, knowing how many calories they need, it can be kind of stressful, especially when they're picky. Max is really picky lately, and so Erin's making these like epic waffles.
He loves them, and they're packed with nutrition.
Totally.
So those are actually the recipes in my last video. Yeah, the last what I eat in a day video.
And so when we're growing up on like grilled cheese sandwiches, 20 years ago, or gosh, 30 years ago or more now, those things have there's so many calories and like Velveeta. And so to like compensate for the unhealthy processed junk, you really need to have like super calorie dense foods, not just for like yourself, which I feel like I do, but obviously for your little one. And that's our biggest concern. Max is super healthy and smart and
Yeah,
way active, so like we don't have any worries. But yeah,
I think it's normal, especially as a first-time parent, to get really paranoid that you're doing something wrong.
yeah,
We're all just doing our best.
totally. And I would say, not that I'm gonna ever recommend a non-vegan diet, but if you're someone who's like, I don't really know how to be vegan or what to do, you know, don't experiment with your child. Don't let them be your like learning process. Like, just make sure that you are doing the research and you
I
are
would say,
knowing.
yeah, and I would say start by transitioning yourself to a vegan diet,
Right,
plant-based diet.
right,
And then when you get a better idea of the fundamentals behind, doing it the right way,
mm-hmm.
then you can start to go to like plantbasedjuniors.com and learn more from sources like that about incorporating it for your baby and toddler.
Totally.
Let's see. So, question from Megan. I am so excited to make this diet a part of my life, but when it comes to planning meals, I get overwhelmed. Any tips? We don't do very much meal planning. We do some meal prep, but not like full-on meals. We more so just like, it's helpful to kind of get your basics, like your grains, your beans, and soak those, like if you're doing them from dry, like soaking them ahead of time or cooking them up. Quinoa too, just like having a big batch of quinoa in the fridge, a big batch of chickpeas, and then when it comes to dinner time, you throw a couple sweet potatoes or regular potatoes in your oven. You just scoop out your grains, your beans, throw some greens in there, and you can even mix up a salad dressing ahead of time, or just use avocado like we do. But as
Yeah.
far as like meal planning, I would say the most helpful thing for us. Oh, there's a huge bird.
Yeah.
The most helpful thing that we do is we make like really big one-pot stews that last like 2, maybe 3 days for dinner, so we don't have to cook every single night or plan every single night.
Totally. Yeah, I would just say make big meals. I feel like even today, I got home like 15 minutes ago and it's already late, and
Dinner's
man,
cooked.
dinner is cooked because we made a giant meal last night. And but I'm just like, we're so busy as it is. It's just like, you know, planning retreats and editing videos and having normal jobs still. And like, I feel like meal planning like takes time. I actually think it takes more time to like cook and plan as opposed to just like coming home and just making food. I think for us, it's I actually enjoy cooking and
Yeah.
stuff. So
If we've got the time to make a good actual recipe, like a stew or a pasta or pizza or whatever the dish is, then we do it. But if we don't, and we don't have a plan, then that's when we just make these one bowls with, the stuff we have in the fridge in bulk, our quinoa and our grains and greens and beans, and it takes maybe like 10 minutes to assemble.
something I
So,
did for like a couple months, we haven't really done it this summer, but this spring I was buying bags, like big bags of like frozen stir fry or like Mediterranean blends or Asian blends, stir fry blends, like big frozen bags. So then I would just throw some chickpeas in this frozen blend and make a separate pot of rice or quinoa or lentils. And man, it was just super, super easy. So again, less about like meal planning and meal prepping and like tiny Tupperwares and stuff like that. And it's more about just like having the food on hand, and even in some cases having it in the freezer, and you just dump it in. And I don't know. I mean,
I did that with a lot early on when I was trying to get the hang of like having meals for Max. I was like stuck at first. So I would, anytime we made like our red curry lentil stew or something like that, I would scoop a cup full of it out, and we have these like silicone cupcake trays, and I would scoop it into that and put it in the freezer, and just continue to add like 1 scoop of whatever dinner we had each night that could go in there, and popped that whole thing in the freezer. So anytime for lunch I don't have any clue what to make him, there's not leftovers or something, I can pop one of those frozen things out and like throw it on like a little mini pan and on the stovetop, and it's, yeah, it works out really well. So you could even do that for yourself too with a bigger portion.
Totally.
Let's see. Allie asks, any
what are you
plans on a
eating?
retreat there in Lincoln? Max is always eating something weird. Plans for a retreat in Lincoln. We have done 2 in the past, but they were just like full day retreats out at our family lake property. We have a boathouse out there that we actually rent out on Airbnb. We haven't really talked about doing a local retreat, but it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Is Abby still here? Abby?
It still remains his cutest toy, I
He
think.
just bit a piece of like the little bucket
Did
off.
he?
Yeah. But he still loves it.
I feel like that child knows how to break every toy, even the sturdiest toys. Anyway, that wouldn't be a bad idea to do another full day or a weekend retreat like out at the lake.
Yeah.
The problem is it's booked constantly on Airbnb. Dusty's always out there cleaning it and turning it over for the next guests, but
Yeah,
we
it would
might
have to be like
We'll have to-
winter. It's booked throughout.
we'll have to gauge what kind of interest there is. Gabriella, hey Gabriella, she also
Hey.
came on our Costa Rica retreat.
Nice.
Wants to go to Bali. That would be awesome. We'd love
Yeah,
to see
I
you
know.
there again.
She told us that first day on the beach. She was like, "Do Bali," and I'm coming to Bali.
Yeah.
So, Gabriella, we're holding you. You're gonna be the first one.
Let's see. Okay, I lost.
Here, go down. This person. These people. Okay.
Okay, we've got Mary Davidson from Kansas City. Hey Mary.
We have this super chat on. Mary
That's
actually
awesome.
just paid just to get her comment like highlighted. Word.
As did Kelly C.
Nice.
and Ray Stifer.
Sweet.
But
yeah, if you guys
Mary
really
said,
are,
what state are you reporting from? Believe it or not,
yeah,
we are in sunny Nebraska.
we're right by you. If you're in KC,
Yeah.
we're like 2.5 hours away. So
Let's get back up in line here with some more of these. Hey Erin, do you have any new workout videos coming soon? I love the ones already. From Rachel. Yes, we actually have another one. We recently shot my top 10 favorite exercises to do daily, and we looped it so it's 20 minutes, because 20-minute workout is just perfect. I think if you're doing a video on YouTube, that's the perfect length of time, because you can either just do that and be done, or you can incorporate that into part of a longer workout. That being said, we haven't filmed any more other than that one, but
Nope.
I would like to. It's kind of like this, up and down. Like, we know you guys really love all the health, the vegan stuff, and then the workout ones are like, people only watch them if they're like game for a workout. So
Yeah.
it's like, we
It's
get
hard.
we get a lot of good feedback from our regular videos, and then the workout ones were just like, do people like them or not? I mean, we know that you're not going to watch it unless you're going to work out,
right.
but it makes it
It's
difficult.
actually hurting our channel when we post workout videos.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because our other videos are getting like, 20 and 30 and sometimes 50,000 views in like a week or two, and the workouts only get like a couple thousand.
We
so
thought about a
it makes our
separate channel, but
yeah. So we're thinking about like a separate workout channel.
or doing like the Patreon thing, or
Yeah, or doing something. We're still trying to make EatMoveRest like our main gig, and so we're trying to figure out how to monetize this, but still give you guys content that you want, but also be able to eventually quit our other jobs, so we can just deliver videos. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So we're trying to get we have a lot of people that would like to support us, and we know that would. And so any ideas you guys have, again, for a separate channel, or somehow having a paid subscription or membership, and we can just crank out videos and do like private live chats and stuff like that, and then have it support us financially, so we can basically have more time. That would eventually be the dream. So we're thinking on it. We're just having a hard time juggling everything right now because we're like
But
all in, but we're like also kind of still doing everything else, so it makes it really hard.
sorry, I'm trying to get logged in. We do have a Patreon account.
Yep.
So if you guys aren't familiar, Dusty, do you want to kind of talk about what Patreon is, just very briefly, and then we'll get back to questions?
So we do have a Patreon set up. We haven't really promoted it. A lot of people think that we're crazy for not promoting it. Basically, Patreon is crowdfunding. So artists and creators like ourselves typically don't get paid or make much money, contrary to what everybody thinks that YouTubers are like raking in the dough. Some of them are, but we get paid when we have like ads and when we have sponsored videos, and we're super particular about who we partner with, and we don't want to make every video an ad, and so it actually makes it really hard for us to therefore make money doing it. So Patreon solves that problem because it's a crowdfunding site that basically
It's Patreon
like
.com.
yeah. And so anyway, there's different tiers and there's different things where you can basically donate to us and support us if you enjoy our content. So
We've only got 3 tiers right now. I'll just say really quick. The first tier is $5 a month, and you get a recipe of the month to your inbox.
Yep.
The second one is $8 a month, and you get the recipe of the month plus a private monthly live Q&A with us, with the group. And for EatMoveRest Royalty, which is the third tier, that's $100 a month. You get the recipe of the month, the private Q&A, and a 30-minute private call with us.
Yep. So we do some coaching. When Erin was pregnant and when Max was born, we kind of quit the coaching, but lately we've kind of started that back up. So again, the Patreon is just a way for us to connect more intimately, one-on-one, smaller groups, and have people support us financially, which again is obviously the dream for us, to be fully supported by EatMoveRest, by what we're trying to build here. So
and we haven't been public about it, but it says when we get 200 patrons, then we are going to sell our house and move. So
right, which is something we've talked about for
we'll
years
see.
and years and years.
Anyways, we'll put a video out on that eventually.
It's so
Devin,
hard to ask for money anyway.
Sorry, Devin asks, quick question on soy. I know the science says soy is protective against disease and promotes longevity, but also hear bad things about soy in terms of GMOs. Thoughts on that? Thanks, you two are wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, from what I've heard, the genetically modified soy is mostly going to feed livestock.
Yeah.
And it's also in the form of oil, like canola oils, in like processed foods, like a bag of chips. If it says canola oil and it doesn't say non-GMO, then that's probably genetically modified soy. So mostly it's the processed soy that's going to feed livestock or go into processed foods that we eat. It's not as much of a concern with whole soy products. That being said, we do err on the side of caution. We always get organic. If it's like organic frozen edamame or shelled edamame or tofu, tempeh.
And I don't even ever see non-organic. Like, we shop at like hippie stores, but even if you go to like your mainstream, which I have before, so during COVID, for some weird reason, Whole Foods and like all of our other go-to markets were sold out of tofu. So I went to like our mainstream grocery store and bought tofu there, some weird brand, but it was all organic. So I think that people know, and I don't even know if they make non-organic tofu anymore. I haven't seen it, so I don't think that you have to worry about it from a science standpoint. Again, the people that we look to, the physicians and scientists, say that soy is good for you. And on the other hand, I was on a retreat of my own, and I sat next to this guy who was not vegan, kind of a bodybuilder, weightlifter guy, and he was saying that they gave a young girl a glass of soy milk and then tested her hormones, and it was like she had just taken 8 birth control pills, and I'm like, okay, that just is stupid. Like, number one, that's just dumb, and so I don't believe the negative stuff about it. You know, I think that it's safe. I mean, we don't eat it a lot, just because, you know, I don't know why we don't eat it a lot. I like it. I
don't
love
have
it,
like
but
cravings for soy products. It's just
yeah,
we eat it as, I don't know.
we eat it a couple times a week or whatever. Max loves it. Max loves tofu.
Like, we'll do tofu scramble.
Yeah.
So.
But we're not afraid of it, and from
Next,
the science that we hear and read, the doctors and everybody says go for it, you know. So.
Next question is, what do we think about the starch solution? And I just had to Google it to get the exact basics for anyone who doesn't know. The starch solution diet consists of approximately 70% starch, 20% vegetables, and 10% fruits. Healthy fats, including avocado, nuts, seeds, and olive oil, are kept to a strict minimum if consumed at all. I mean, I think it sounds pretty solid.
It sounds better than any, you know, than most other things. I would say that we eat a lot more fruit.
Yeah.
Than starch. Ours is probably almost
50,
swapped.
It's probably like 50-50 starches and fruits, I would say.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. We only eat potatoes and stuff at like dinner time, but I eat fruit all throughout the day.
Yeah.
And like smoothies and oatmeals and things like that. But we have our doubts too. Sometimes I'm getting blinded by the sun. We might have to scoot over.
Oh, sorry. Why don't you just scoot a little bit?
We have our doubts. Yeah, I think it's going to continue to get me. But anyway, yeah, I would not concern yourself too much with starch and just say carbs, you know, more carbs, like 80%, well, probably not that. I eat probably 60% carbs, 20% protein, and 20% fat, 60, 20, 20. Erin probably...
It's probably about the same.
Yeah. So that's what we do.
I used to eat a lot lower fat, but it just seemed like it wasn't good for the brain or for hormones or skin. And especially if you're young and active and of childbearing age, I think it's important. Male and female, actually. And if you don't have any heart issues, I don't see any reason to be restricting fat so hardcore to 10%, but that's just my personal experience.
Yeah, so the doctors that say 80-10-10, or like Doug Graham, who literally wrote the book 80-10-10 Diet, they're like mostly concerned with old people that have like health issues. You know, they're trying to reverse heart disease and diabetes, and you know, for them, you know, then they do want to restrict a certain amount of fat. But if you're young and, you know, relatively healthy, or even if you're old and even have some issues, I think, you know, fat is something that we need. And I don't think that fat makes you fat either. If you look at most of the paleo people, not that I agree with paleo diet, but people on a paleo diet eat fat to burn fat, and the science seems to work. And a lot of the paleo people I follow are ripped. And, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, I choose to be vegan, but I'm just reiterating that you don't necessarily have to be afraid of fat as long as it's in a whole food form. You know, I wouldn't, you know, use oil and eat 50% of your calories from fat, but again, 10, 15, 20% I think is good, and I think is healthy. So
yeah. Melissa has a question. When I was eating junk, I felt I never had enough. With plant-based living, I feel I have an abundance. I always have enough, and I feel more content in general. Did you all experience that? Yes, I would say definitely. You know, you can eat a burger from McDonald's, and it's super small, so A, it's not filling your stomach up, so you're going to feel hungry even if you ate something that was small but high calories. B, it's nutrient void, so you're going to be hungry twofold for two reasons, volume-wise and nutritional-wise. But
yeah, which is why people gain weight when they're eating junk food, because they eat a McDonald's cheeseburger it only takes up this much space in your stomach, so you're physically full. And like Erin just said, there's no nutrients, so your body is saying, I didn't get what I needed there. You know, I needed vitamin C and minerals and all these things that you're not getting from junk food. So people eat more and eat more and eat more because they're still hungry, because their stomach's not full and their body isn't getting the nourishment. So they, you know, they eat themselves into obesity on these bad junk foods. And yeah, bad news.
Joshua asks, where's Mr. Max and Bo? Bo is
Bo's sitting
sleeping
right
out here. You can probably
Max,
put the camera.
yeah,
Max
we'll
is
show
like
you.
about to take a nap. He was just covering his face with the blanket. Which
Oh, now he heard his name, so he looked, but he was definitely falling asleep. And Bo
is out.
Let's see, there he is.
And show all of our wild cucumbers that popped up in our garden.
And there's our garden back there.
So those cucumbers, let's tell them.
I don't know if you can see. Okay, our yard looks terrible because Bo pees everywhere and kills the grass. There's the garden. Anyway.
So we planted kale and lettuce and different kinds of kale, tons of different kales. And
we need to scoot again.
Cherry tomatoes. And, we did not plant cucumbers,
like
but a bunch of cucumbers started cropping up. And we realized it's because we've been composting for the past 3 years, and we've finally been using it in our garden this year. And so all of the cucumber stuff that had been composted cropped up in our garden. So we're like, let's just run with it. If the cucumber is what wants to pop up, then let's just let it do it.
Totally.
So it's kind of cool and exciting, and it's
most
taking
of them,
over.
Actually, because they take over, so I've pulled most of them out. But
let's see. I supplement my kids' meals with some meat, low fat and thoughtfully prepared. It's hard to judge what they are getting. Maybe when they hit teen years. Interesting. I already saw the workout question. Let's see.
Someone said that you're beautiful and I'm handsome.
Thank you. I always love those. It just makes me feel good.
Well, obviously. Hi from Vegas. I've got family in Vegas. I heard Vegas is open again. Are the casinos rocking? Are people back out gambling with their masks on, probably?
Ray Stifer says, hi everyone, please show support for these guys by buying a sticker. Love it, and love the rose sticker. It's beautiful. Thank you. Love it.
Yeah, you can buy a sticker on the chat, apparently. It's a YouTube feature.
Juliet asked, can you guys make a video on some zero waste tips? So yeah, we've been kind of experimenting more with zero waste, more and more. We haven't made a specific video on it. Oh wow, thank you so much. Someone just donated.
Nice. Rachel.
Rachel says, would definitely love to see a separate channel / paid membership for more workout videos. Thanks for your time today.
Oh, nice.
Thanks
you so much.
Appreciate it. That's awesome. And yeah.
Rachel just hit us with a hefty $30.
Like, all you guys see is the eat side. We are just as much move and rest around here.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure that out. But
it's just so hard because everybody wants, even like take our conversation right now, people just want to hear about food, and that's okay. But yeah, we would love to be doing more workouts and more meditations and, you know, travel videos and interviews. Like, we've done a little bit of all of it, and we would love to be doing more. Again, we're working our way there, freeing up more of our time, so we can do that, whether it be in separate channels or posting multiple times a week, you know, stuff like that. We're working on it totally, so we're getting there. Thanks
does anyone
again.
Mary said, does anyone else see something that looks like smoke in the foreground? We actually lit some incense to try and keep the mosquitoes away.
Yep.
So we also have this thing called Thermacell. It's supposed to keep bugs away. I don't know how it works, but we've got both going simultaneously.
Yeah, yeah, the incense definitely works. I think the incense just maybe went out, but yeah, you probably see the smoke because the sun is like setting and there's smoke everywhere, and so you're probably getting
it's very
smoke
mystical.
Yeah.
Sonia asked, what do you do for work? I work at a family practice. My dad is a physician and my grandpa works there as well. My mom manages the practice, so I kind of help on both sides. I work upstairs with my mom and do QuickBooks and bookkeeping stuff, billing and payroll. And then downstairs, I work in the lab with my dad and I do stem cell therapies. So I have my degree in biology, and that has really come in handy for that. So, if and when we move or go full time with EatMoveRest, either or, it's going to be tricky and tough and sad leaving the family practice, but I
Yeah.
think we're in a good position to, you know, get out of that finally.
I think
I would
so.
say.
I think so. We're getting, and I also work for the family. Erin's family owns some land outside of town where they have a lake, and we have an Airbnb that Erin and I have kind of taken the reins of the little cabin out there and turned it into an Airbnb. I do a lot of landscaping and remodeling work, and I spend most of my time out there um, cutting trees. We've had storms, and I've been cutting trees like crazy. So, yeah, I do some contracting work and some landscaping, and I manage the Airbnb and manage weddings, and we're busy for sure. So,
Yeah, we seriously feel run ragged a lot of days.
yeah,
And we never have a set schedule, which you would think is like so amazing and carefree, but it's actually sometimes more stressful just because I feel like you don't know what to expect each day, and it makes it hard because every single day you have to try and create a new schedule for yourself. And
I don't even try.
and
I
you
just
can't even
do.
really get it all done, it's just so open-ended.
Right.
So it's definitely not easy. I would say, like, I sometimes envy the 9 to 5 thing, and then other
Yeah.
times I'm super grateful for the way we're doing things, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's you can't win either way.
We're like, and our
It's
schedules are flexible. Like we work, in like the family business, if you will, but we're still kind of like self-employed. So we do get to come and go as we please, and we pick our hours and whatever. So we're like self-employed-ish, and I always thought that that was like the dream life. But like Erin said, it's 8:15 almost, and I probably have an hour worth of Airbnb messages that I still have to check, somehow tonight, and DMs on Instagram,
Yeah,
and
we're still trying to keep up with the DMs, even though the
yeah,
YouTube comments have kind of gotten away from us after the last, I would say, 3 or 4 videos that kind of just really went crazy.
hmm
Which, by the way, thanks you guys for the constant, just like overwhelming support, encouragement,
yeah,
kind words. We're so happy to hear that so many of you have felt inspired by us sharing our personal
yeah,
stories and struggles with body image and overcoming a lot of childhood things.
yeah.
And it just feels really good to get seriously just like the biggest outpouring of warm, nice words from everybody.
Yeah.
It was unexpected too. So
It's hard to put yourself out there,
anyway, it
and
kind of made the comments go on the hamster wheel, and they're hard to keep up with now.
totally, and emails, and man,
Yeah.
just too many emails. Which again, not complaining. We're just, yeah. This seems fun and glamorous,
Mhm.
but we've got our hands full right now. So
Especially with Max too. It's like you want to be present. It's just like you can keep getting busier and busier if you wanted to, with like as the comments increase and the messages increase and the coaching calls increase, you could keep adding more and more to your plate, but it's crowding out more of that white space and that family interaction time that's like super important to us. We're really fighting for that.
yeah,
And even to just kind of keep at least our weekends sacred and our evenings sacred. So we do see all of the comments though. So
yeah.
yeah, we're really grateful for every single one.
Yeah. So that's what we do. Someone asked what we do.
Oh yeah.
That was a long answer. Sorry.
Wow. Holy cow. Let's speed this up so we can get through some.
Yeah.
Addie asked, can you all share if you live a more minimalist lifestyle? We really, really try to. Our house has like almost no storage except for a little tiny attic above our garage that's like
Mhm.
access through the garage. Other than that, we don't have storage, which we kind of preferred when we moved in because we knew we wouldn't accumulate a bunch of junk.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I kind of feel like we still have more
We have stuff.
than
Too
we
much.
need. And that's one of the reasons we want to move, is because it always gives you a good reason to pare down everything you have.
Yeah.
So we're looking to move more to the minimalist side of things and zero waste. Always. We're always just making small upgrades like we did with our diet back in the day. We're always just looking for the next step in the right direction.
Yeah. And someone said, or maybe you told me that you heard something like, it's not about doing more, it's about doing better. Maybe, I can't remember if that was you or not. But anyway, and so I'm always thinking about that. Like, when we bought this house, and again, being like a remodeler myself, I was so eager to like tear out the walls and add in this and add that and add this patio. Like, we've got doors right there and a patio here that didn't exist before. And so we've got like 3 patios on like each side of our house that we don't use. And I just felt like it was all about more. And lately, I just feel like we need to do better at what we do and maybe have less, just do that better, whatever it is, whether it's your work or your time with Max or even the things in your home. You know, it's like less can be more.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Thanks a bunch, Ray.
Nice.
Totally loving on us.
This is so fun. Who would have thought that we could people could support us right here on the chat? YouTube has it figured out. It's such a cool time that we're able to connect with people all over the world, and yeah, and you guys can support us. Like, so awesome. I feel like artists and musicians and things, like, it's always been so hard to like get things out. You know, like if you're a creator, if you're a musician, for instance, years and years ago, like, you would have to get signed by a major record label, and man, now it's so easy. You know, you have to be good, and we work hard at our craft. You know, video editing and recipes and all of this stuff, but it's so much easier. So we feel very fortunate to be able to create things and connect directly.
I feel like we need to have a moderator, someone to like read these for us and get these questions queued up, because I'm in like reading land over here, trying to be present and listen to what Dusty's saying, but also trying to keep up with these. So I'm sorry.
Totally.
If you guys have suggestions for like how other YouTubers do it, let us know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jennifer said, do you primarily buy your vegetables and fruits at a local grocery store or something like Sam's Club since you buy more? We buy as much local as we can at our farmers markets, but in Nebraska we don't honestly get very much fruit. It's all vegetables, but we buy as much of it locally as we can when the season is right. And other than that, we shop at Whole Foods and our local co-op grocery store. So
and Trader Joe's sometimes.
We don't ever buy like anything at Sam's Club or Costco. I'm just not a fan.
We don't have Sam's Club or Costco memberships.
And we don't have room in our house for like too much
right.
overstock.
Again, we literally don't have any storage, so.
We do it more like how we did when we were in Italy, how they do it, where you just buy enough food for the next few days.
Yeah.
So. Do you find it hard to go out to dinner with couples who eat meat? From David. I don't at all. It doesn't bother me. To each his own. We aren't very preachy or bothered by it. I don't think it feels like a big deal at all.
Totally.
Where did you do your health coach education? From JT. So it's called A4M. It was originally the Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, so A4M. Or American Academy. Anyways, it was through the family practice that I work at, and it was mostly geared towards continuing education credits for nurses and physicians, but they did have just this one specific course for health coaches, and you didn't need to be a nurse or a doctor to take it. And so it was a series of 4 conferences, like tons and tons of different
To get certified,
Yeah.
basically to get certified for like
We went,
health and lifestyle coaching.
yeah.
And
2 of them were full, what was it, like 4 days in Vegas, so 2 different trips there, and then 2 different trips to Florida, same thing. So we got certified through that, and then we came home and we ended up doing the T. Colin Campbell E. Cornell online course to get certified in plant-based nutrition. So, yeah.
Yep. So we are certified. But yeah, Ted Carr. Somebody said, Dusty, Ted Carr can help. We actually know Ted. We know Ted pretty well, and we've done. What did we? We did a webinar
We did a
with
summit with
Ted.
him
Yeah, we did
on
a summit with
being
Ted.
plant-based entrepreneurs.
We've talked on the phone, and Ted and I text every now and then. So thanks for sharing that,
Maria
Joshua.
says, what do you think about the Black Lives Matter movement? It is quite the emotional roller coaster, I will say that much. I do think it's important. At first, I felt like I was confused between the two sides, Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. But we already know we should already know that all lives matter. So I think, yeah, right now it is Black Lives Matter, and we do need to be boosting up Black people and their voices, and just reminding everyone that we need to recalibrate. So that's about all I can say for that.
Yeah, there's been a whole lot, I personally am in a tricky situation because people are asking my opinion on everything, and but also saying like that I have to not give my opinion because I'm a white male. My opinion doesn't matter, or I shouldn't be saying it. So it's been tricky for me. I've got tons of Black friends. I grew up going to a school where like I was no joke the minority, and so again, for me, it just seems like, um, it's not weird for me. Even though we live in Nebraska, we're in the city, and again, I had more Black friends and Hispanic friends and you name it than I did white friends growing up. So I definitely know, and I have been reaching out to, my Black friends and followers and stuff, and getting really good input. So my opinion is that it's certainly important, but that it's not my time to talk as much as it is to just, like Erin said, you know, point to them. And so I don't think that my opinion on Black Lives matters as much as some of the Black friends that we have, and followers and pastors, even like super, super awesome people out there, black friends and leaders that we look up to. And so yeah, DM us, and we can send you some people that I think their opinions matter more than ours. So definitely.
Let's see.
Someone asked, More Than Mom asked about reflux.
Specific recommendations for reflux, specific foods to eat or avoid?
Man, I mean, if you're not vegan, obviously cut out meat and dairy products, because the dairy and eggs for me helped. But even after I was on like Prevacid and like Prilosec, and I can't remember a couple other like over-the-counter medications and stuff for pretty much chronic heartburn. Even when I quit those, and was vegan, it took my body like a year and a half to like heal. So I would say, slowly cut things out and just see how you feel. And even if you feel a little bit better, just keep making the upgrades and keep at it. So I don't think that it's necessarily certain foods that trigger heartburn. I think that it's your stomach that needs healing, and that you should be able to eat whatever you want. And if you're not, then you have an over acid, you have not enough acid, and again, cut out a lot of things to let your stomach heal, and then you should be able to add things back in, and you should be fine. But yeah, it took me a year or so of cutting things out. And again, if you want to chat more, maybe send me a DM on Instagram, and we can do a full coaching session if you really want to talk.
It seems like we're still getting a lot of banter about soy, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
I would honestly say that we are just YouTubers. We're not the experts,
Right.
even though we do go to the experts for our information. But if you have any doubts in your mind or questions that you need answered, I would for sure go to,
Like PubMed.
yeah, PubMed, and just do a search for yourself. It's super handy and helpful. That's going to be the best place to get.
Nutritionfacts.org. You know, Dr. Greger is
He pulls
legit.
everything from PubMed and places
Yeah.
like that. So
Totally. You can't
yeah.
go wrong with him.
Let's see. Lisa K says, I've been eating soy practically every day for 23 years and I'm doing great.
There you
And
go.
I also saw some people saying, if you have endometriosis, don't touch it. So I would go to PubMed just to clear things up.
Yeah, and again, everybody's different. I honestly, like, I don't even know what endometriosis is and how soy could be affecting that. So my opinion, again, is, like, I don't even want to give it because I don't want someone to take it the wrong way. So, again, if you guys are really have serious questions, we can do, like, private coaching one-on-one, at which point we have doctor friends and doctor family that we reach out to and can, you know, help give like more medically guided advice, but we're not doctors, and so we can't do that.
I think that's a good rule of thumb for almost any and every YouTuber, is not to look at them as medical professionals or experts on anything in the health and wellness field. We're more here for as sources of inspiration and basically to share our
Motivation.
story. And yeah, as coaches,
Yeah.
we're here to inspire and motivate and encourage and to just provide an example of what, you know, this lifestyle could look like.
Totally.
And that's why we're Eat, Move, Rest. We're not vegan Erin and Dusty or anything like that. We're not labeling ourselves that way.
Yeah.
Because Eat, Move, Rest is all about finding your own way of doing those three things your best. So
Right.
you can find balance for yourself, because it's
Right.
going to look different for everybody.
Totally. And while we do recommend, you know, a whole food plant-based diet and a vegan diet, we don't judge someone who isn't there yet. And, you know, even for ourselves, you don't know what the future holds in regards to the science or whatever. And so it's like, let's drop the labels and the dogma, and, you know, just help each other, help motivate and inspire each other. And that's what we're here to do, not here to prescribe or give medical advice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's see. Ray Steifer said, do you guys use olive oil or any oils? Is coconut oil good? I would say no to all three of those, although we do put oil in some of Max's dishes. Like if we're eating pasta, we'll maybe put some olive oil on his pasta, just because kids don't really have any issues with like heart disease, and they need the extra calories, they need the extra fats for their brain, their eye health, just overall development. But we don't eat oils because we tend to just get our fats from whole food sources, because olive oil, for example, is a completely refined fat. You can look at it the same as a refined sugar. So like a spoonful of white sugar, you're not going to probably put that on your cereal if you're a health nut. You're not going to put that on your oatmeal because it's just a completely 100% refined carbohydrate.
Right.
So oil is the same way. It's refined fat, which means refined means it's stripped of its other vital nutrients, you know, vitamins, minerals, fiber being a big thing.
It's calorie, like we said before with like the McDonald's cheeseburger. Oil is calorie dense and nutrient void. And if there's no nutrient, you know, capacity, it, you know, for us, it's either like helping or hindering. And I personally I'm not afraid of oil. You know, I'll occasionally put olive oil on like a, what do you make, Max? Avocado toast with like hemp seeds and maybe drizzle some olive oil. Like, I'm cool with that once in a while, or like some bruschetta at an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, if we go out to eat, we're not like crazy about being like, no, I can't have that.
And we're not afraid of it. That, again, that being said, we're both like stick figures, and, you know, we don't have to worry. But again, for anyone else, we just say stay away from it, because teaspoon or tablespoon of oil is 100 calories. It takes up 0 space in your stomach, and it just really adds up quick for anybody who's thinking about losing
So
weight.
this is piggybacking on from Lauren Foster asking, I tried vegan and liked it. How can I lose weight on a vegan diet? So I think going back to like the oil, if we're looking at a whole foods plant-based vegan diet, then that's going to be different than just a plain old vegan diet.
Right.
So go whole foods plant-based and you'll almost be guaranteed to lose weight.
Right.
And
oil
if you're
is not a whole food. So
Yeah.
when we say whole food plant-based, that pretty much excludes refined sugars, refined oils, etc. And in that way, like Erin's probably trying to say, and I'm interrupting,
so
you'll lose weight.
Yeah, I would also focus on, how do I say it? I mean, you don't need to be afraid of fruit, but I would also focus heavily on, like having a big bowl for dinner that's half vegetables and half starches. I think that's really beneficial.
Sure. Why specifically?
Because you can eat high volume and it's lower in calories. And you'll feel full.
If you're trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas fruit, you're saying, is higher in calories.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, that's a whole nother like rabbit hole. For one person, that's perfect. For me, that doesn't work. So if you guys want to do a coaching session or set up, private chats, it's really like so personalized. It makes it hard for us to give other people advice because our journey is so much different with our own health and with the way our bodies are built and stuff like that. But yeah, we could certainly make more videos. If you guys want to always reach out and
want
give
more
us,
what I eat in a day videos.
Totally.
We love them.
But then again, Erin and I are like, honestly, we lift and we're like trying to gain always. So we're eating tons of fruit. We're eating 3,500 calories a day, and someone who is, even a larger person might need half that amount of calories, especially if they're trying to lose weight. And you can do all of this on a vegan diet. You can lift and gain weight. You can also lose, but it's so individualized. So.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's power through these really quick now.
I will say oil gives me heartburn. That's the last thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Oil gives me heartburn. So if for no other reason, I don't eat oil because it gives me heartburn.
Top tip for avoiding overeating. I would say number 1, make sure you're not just thirsty. So make sure you're well hydrated between meals and drink a big glass of water. If you're going to drink water, do it before your meal. So yeah, if you get hydrated, it helps you to not overeat as much. And I would also say to not have your pots and plates and dishes at the dining room table. I think if you have to get up to refill your plate, that helps a lot. And also on that note, having like a smaller plate helps.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've never, ever, ever, ever had an issue with overeating because, again, I've always been a stick figure boy and man now. And so overeating is like my goal. I'm like, how much can I eat? But I will say that I can't eat as much as I like when Erin makes big salads. And it's not like, sometimes it seems silly, but sometimes I'm like frustrated about it because I'm like, I need more substance and my salad was too big. So if you're trying to eat less, eat first a big bowl of leafy greens. That'll be great for your health, but also it'll fill you up. So.
Couple questions here back to back. Are we wearing mind control devices? I mean masks. And are we going to take the vaccine? So I am wearing a mask when I'm required to. And every once in a while, like if it's like a busy grocery store run or something like that, like I'll throw it on. Other than that, like I'm not the person that's wearing the mask while I'm driving my car or wearing the mask while I'm riding my bike or running on the bike path or going for a walk.
I saw 2 people in our neighborhood, in fact I probably need to be quiet, on my way home doing yard work with blue gloves and masks on. And I was just like, I hope and pray that those aren't like
immune compromised
Could be.
individuals, which it could very well be.
Yeah.
And yes, they should be extra cautious, but I think if you're outside by yourself, then you should most definitely be breathing in fresh
Yeah.
nature,
Definitely.
fresh air. So, other than that, we're not going to get into the politics because I think it's absolutely ridiculous that everybody is politicizing this and the BLM issue. And other than that, going to the next question about the vaccine, we want to be really clear that neither of us are anti-vax, but we are very, very cautious of what's put into them and how little testing is done with them.
Yeah.
So that makes us highly, highly cautious and very skeptical and untrusting. We don't watch or consume almost any mainstream media. Sometimes I do, especially if I'm at my parents' house. The news is always on, but we try to stay away from it, separate ourselves from it, so we can listen to, let our conscience be our guide, and understand and do our own research on both sides. We do explore both sides. We're very open-minded, but as it stands right now, I don't think there's a shadow of a doubt that the vaccine is a bad idea to get. But that's my personal opinion.
Wait, that didn't make sense how you said it.
Oh, sorry. I just don't feel comfortable getting it because if they're fast tracking it like everybody's saying and not going through enough rigorous testing, it just seems very scary to me.
Right.
And being that I have feel like I have a pretty robust immune system and we're not in the high risk, at risk
age
groups
or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky. And again,
we're still doing research, and I think the reason that people's emotions are running on high right now is because with this whole virus, very little is known because it's so new. And I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories, and we aren't going to take a deep dive into that because we'll get way lost. But I think that people are just feeling scared because things are changing, and we're always resistant to change in the beginning. Some of these changes are horrible changes. Some are probably going to be good changes. But ultimately, there's a lot of division, a lot of clashing and butting heads just because we're all scared and we're all confused. And if you look at a wild dog or a dog that's been mistreated and you try to corner it in the corner of a fence, it's going to be like gnashing and, just going crazy, like threatening to bite you and growling. And I feel like we're all feeling cornered like a dog like that right now. And it's just making us react in ways that we wouldn't normally. But yeah, I'm very cautious and skeptical right now. And
yeah, no, I'm certainly skeptical of a lot of things, especially the mainstream media. And again, without getting political, it's really hard to even say how I feel about certain things. I understand why the masks
we're
are
not even
worn.
Political people.
No, we're not. So it's just weird that all of a sudden, like, if I say one thing, it means I'm conservative. If I say another thing, it means I'm liberal. And I think both. So sometimes I don't even know for myself, like, am I conservative or am I liberal? Like, I don't even know. And especially now, it's just an argument. And I'm, like, arguing with myself, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, what I need is some fresh air.
Especially because, like we said, not consuming mainstream media, it's sometimes like, I really understand this topic to be this way, and then I really understand this topic to be this way. And if you turn on the news, then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I'm Republican over here and I'm Democrat over here, and that doesn't make sense. And as soon as you start watching like a channel that's very slanted toward one side or the other, you just start to get pulled and pulled and pulled in that direction, and then before you know it, your group thinks for you.
Yeah.
And you stop thinking and you're just arguing for your group, because we all want to be part of a group. We all want to be, I don't know how to say it.
So I think back to the question, are we getting vaxxed? Are we wearing masks? We can't say yes or no, because I do wear the mask when I'm around other people, and older people especially, even though I personally don't want to. I don't want to wear a mask, and I don't want anybody to have to. But I am, I went to the dentist and I wore a mask just if for no other reason to protect other people, and you know, I don't know. And I think ultimately that, health is king and like all natural everything. Vaccines scare me because we don't know what's in them.
Here.
Oh, Maxie's waking up.
I'll get him.
Maxie's waking
I
up.
don't.
But anyway, I think that I don't eat Cheerios or breakfast cereal from Whole Foods if I can't read the label. And so to justify getting a vaccine that has all kinds of really messed up stuff, for me, doesn't make sense. But that just sounds like a not educated answer. But trust me, I've read books, I've listened to the people. You know, we have a certain stance on that.
You wanna say hi?
And then having kids is a whole nother issue. Like, do you do this vaccine? Do you do any vaccines? Do you do all? Again, we are not the people to give advice on this, and we do have doctor friends, doctor family, who we yield to.
Here's Bo. He's saying, "Hush up."
Yeah, we're both hungry.
Let's all take ourselves less seriously and just enjoy every day and not worry so much about. I mean, the more you start to future trip about the demise of the human race,
yeah,
the less good you're going to EatMoveRest. I think now more than ever, times like these, it's super important to EatMoveRest your best because that's all we've got.
Can do.
Yeah.
And Erin said something after listening to like one of our favorite podcasters who like kind of let us down for one reason or the other again, which is unfortunate because all these people that we loved and trusted, even though they may not agree with us, all of a sudden, like, we're so separated. We're so separated now because this side's right, this side's wrong, etc., etc. And so we were kind of disappointed about something, and I just was like, I said to Erin, I said to myself, one day at a time. Like, that's all you can do. One day at a time. And I'm worried it's 8:45.
Now that I'm getting down here, I'm sorry guys, there's somebody that we need to remove from here. There's somebody saying weird stuff. Sorry about that. Anyway, oopsie. We're about to go eat dinner.
You better go grab him.
We can round it out with a couple good questions. And then we'll go eat dinner! I'm gonna come back here.
Okay. Erin's coming back with Max. Yeah, sorry, there was a weird dude or person in the conversation saying weird things. But, yeah, anyway. There's Mom. She's being a goof back there.
That's pretty good. There's like a slight lag on the laptop so I can see myself doing what I just did.
So, any other questions? Do we use veg dog? Vitamins. We don't give Bo any vitamins. We feed him V-Dog.
We did for a while.
He eats carrots off the table. He eats kale. He's getting to be an old Bernese already.
But he still acts like a puppy.
He acts like a puppy. He smells terrible right now for some reason because he's been in.
You don't want to sit still,
in the pond. Here, I'll hold the boy.
Okay.
But anyway, our dog's healthy. We don't supplement. We do feed him vegan dog food. Hi. Can I have a kiss?
Oh yeah, so 2 giveaways coming up this weekend. So we've got a video going live on Saturday as usual. We've been trying to stay consistent lately with that. We will be doing a giveaway in that video, so stay tuned. And then we will also have on Sunday another giveaway that will be strictly on Instagram. So the Sunday one I've already mentioned is a Miami fruit giveaway.
Yeah.
We're teaming up with a few other influencers there, so stay tuned. We're really excited for 2 really awesome giveaways.
So that one's on Instagram, and then we've got a YouTube giveaway, which is also going to be awesome. So you guys are going to watch, you're going to want to watch Saturday's video this week, especially if you've got kids and you like to be outdoors.
So,
hint, hint.
Last thing to note is thank you for, let's see. Oh, here's the quote from Kaylee. Dusty, we can't do it all, but we can all do better.
There we go.
That's a good one. That's a good way to end it. I like that.
Totally.
And I was also going to say, going back to the retreat again, if you guys are interested, we are filling spots, and we do say that we have a no refund policy, but we're of course making an exception for COVID. So for our March and May retreats, if you guys do book and for some reason they shut down the borders, then we will be able to refund you. So just keep that in mind, and we would love to see you guys there. And we're gonna do these YouTube live Q&As more often, so probably do another one here in another couple weeks. Stay tuned. We are working on lots of fun and exciting big things coming soon.
Bye.
Bye guys, thanks for tuning in. Love you all. I guess I gotta turn this off, huh?